Don't go deep in the water. One or the other, anyway. But at the end of the day, like, it's just having a chat, you know what I mean? Hello and welcome to another episode of Coffee with SamPaul. We are at Nev's Cafe in St Agnes. I've got my lovely guest here, Eleni, who is a hypnotherapist and life coach, and we're going to get a little bit of an idea about what that entails and what she does, and yeah, just general chit chat. How are you going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for coming on the show.
No, thank you for having me on the show.
Absolute pleasure. So do tell us, what does a life coach do? How can someone require one, I guess you could say, in life?
Well, as far as life coaching goes, it's really quite a lot of the time we all have goals. However, we sometimes need a bit of a push to actually achieve them and to keep ourselves on track. And that's what a life coach does.
Nice.
However, we also can add in some other tips and tools that we have to help move that along even faster.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the hypnotherapy comes in as well, where you can help people's mindset within seconds quite often.
Oh, wow.
And using neurolinguistic programming as well, you can do amazing things in a very short amount of time.
Wow.
That has a lasting benefit on someone's life.
Yeah, because I have heard about like hypnotherapy being used quite successfully for like giving up smoking and things like that.
Yeah.
Is that one of the areas that you would sort of potentially?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got quite a few people who are now non-smokers thanks to
Amazing.
doing hypnotherapy with me. It's so much fun.
That's
but my
awesome.
main area is body image and self-love.
Oh, that is so good to hear, because I do see a lot on social media, particularly, all these unrealistic expectations of what men and women should look like, and it just seems to be like it's like almost like a pandemic in itself. The mental health issues that seem to be related to that kind of
Absolutely.
that kind of aspect of life, and so it's good to see someone doing a positive to that sort of quite negative aspect of life.
Absolutely. That became my niche area based on my own experience. So
Yep.
I had numerous eating disorders, a
Oh, wow.
terrible body image. I
Yeah.
absolutely hated who I saw in the mirror. So when I did my hypnotherapy training, my life completely changed. And then I've since then been able to create my own processes, which are really, really cool. So
I can imagine they
help
are.
people in a much quicker amount of time, and it's absolutely phenomenal.
That's amazing. Is that quite common for someone that does the sort of training that you've done to then develop their own techniques, or are there?
A lot of the time it is. I know a lot of people who I trained with. One girl, I'm going to just give her a shout out on here.
Go for it, yeah, by all means.
Emma Romano. She created the Family Freedom Protocol, and she's an international renowned hypnotherapist and coach.
Wow.
She is doing so much out
I almost
there.
feel privileged that you've shouted her out on my show. Like, that's amazing.
Emma. Yeah,
What's
there's-
up?
yeah, it's quite a few people who have created some insane stuff.
Yeah, wow.
And they are changing lives all over the world, and that's why I'm into it. I want to change people's lives, just how it changed mine, really.
That's amazing. That's
Because
so
my
cool.
life is completely different to how it was when I
Wow.
first trained 7 years ago. So
Oh, wow. It's only 7 years and already it's made such an impact on... That's incredible. I have to ask, because, like, growing up as a kid, my impression of hypnotherapy, or I guess as we called it back then, hypnotizing, was like some creepy kind of guy with a watch, and they were, swinging it back and forth, and our eyes were following it, and then we'd kind of nod off. And even today, like at some fringe shows I've been to where they do a bit of that on stage, obviously that's not what you do.
absolutely not.
So how would you go in a typical sort of session to get into the hypnotic sort of state? Would that be the correct way of wording it?
That's the correct way of wording it.
Wow.
So the difference between hypnotherapy and stage hypnosis are two very different things.
Oh, okay.
So in stage hypnosis, you actually have the person on stage, and they're trying to find the people who want to be on stage.
Yep.
If they want to be on stage, they're going to do anything they're told.
Oh, okay.
So at the end of the day, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So the hypnotherapist or hypnotist is actually taking you through the process, but just like a tour guide on a tour bus, it's up to you if you look or not at the
okay.
different sites.
Yep.
So in your mind is actually awake. It doesn't feel like anything.
Oh, okay.
So you know that feeling when you're driving and you're down the road and all of a sudden you go, hang on, I've just travelled a few kilometres and I don't remember them.
Yeah.
That is actually the same as being in a state of hypnosis.
That's me getting ready for work in the morning.
I think that's most of us getting ready for work in the morning. Until the coffee kicks in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Believe it or not, you actually can. There's a really cool technique that can be used. And you can actually swap, like, say, water for vodka.
Ooh.
So you can actually get drunk without the long-term side effects.
Oh.
And
As in you're drinking water, but
Yeah.
you think it's vodka.
yeah, your mind is
Wow.
saying it's water, and then you can just snap
hear
out
that?
of it. It's some really cool stuff you can do.
That in itself would be worth coming to see you for, I reckon, because imagine, like, you'd basically eliminate a hangover, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Because you're not getting that.
And a drink driving fine and a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not a drinker, as most people know. I very rarely drink, so I guess it probably not for me, but I know a lot of people that would be beneficial and cheaper too.
Absolutely.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
actually a very interesting concept.
It's amazing what you can switch. When I did my training, my biggest one was hot chili. I changed that to ice water,
Wow.
and I was able to have like this really hot chili sauce on my hand and just down it and have no
Wow.
effect at all. Except I
That's
got a bit of a toothache because it actually. So the hotter it
'cause
was,
the colder you felt it.
the colder I felt it, and it ended up
That
just
is
being a nightmare.
crazy.
Because
Wow.
so I was in this. The last night of our full training, I was in this bar in Coolangatta,
I love coffee.
and it was a really cool place actually, but there was a few questionable people in there, very questionable, and they were watching me as I'm like, what's the hottest sauce? And I just put it on my hand, and this man behind me goes, do you know how hot that is? I wouldn't do that. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. And he goes, she's gonna faint. I'm like, I'm fine. And he said, if she can do it, I can do it. He fainted.
Oh wow, that's
He did
hilarious.
it and fainted, and I was like, what's the big deal?
I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I guess what we're really highlighting here with the work you do is how powerful our own mind actually is.
absolutely.
Because that's really what it all comes down to,
It's
isn't
mind
it? Like,
over matter. Currently, hypnotherapy is the leading way to become a non-smoker.
yeah, wow.
I say become a non-smoker because it's a positive term as opposed to giving up smoking, because you're actually giving something up,
Yeah.
but you're not choosing a new identity. Same as like weight loss. If you say you're going to lose something, you're going to go looking for it again.
Yeah, I like
So,
that. I like that.
If you want to lose weight, we call it, we're going to donate weight to the universe.
Oh, wow.
Because if you donate something, you're not going to go looking
You
for
don't
it
want
again.
it back. 'Cause
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
As far
to
as
a
you're
better home.
concerned, it's gone somewhere else.
That's incredible.
So, yeah.
I love that. I love that way of thinking. You know, I mean, obviously, I didn't know you before today.
Not at all.
We've chatted very briefly online, and that was about it. So I can't speak on you 7 years ago, but seeing you now and the way you speak and the way you are, like you seem like very happy with yourself, and you look amazing. So clearly, whatever you're doing is working.
Yeah.
So I guess if there's anyone out there that you know feels like you did 7 years ago, they should probably look you up.
Most of my sessions I actually do via Zoom.
There you go.
And they
There
are
you go.
just as effective, if not more effective, online than they are in person.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah.
good to know. That's good to know. But so you've mentioned weight loss, and you've mentioned cigarettes. What are some of the other things that people would come to you for? You know, body image obviously as well.
Phobias.
Phobias. Okay.
Phobias is really fun.
Wow.
That's a lot of fun. If anyone has phobias, trust me, it's a fun experience to actually get over them.
Is there any that sort of stick out in your mind that people have come to you with, like a really crazy or really wild phobia that they've had, and you've just been like, whoa.
I had one woman who saw me for a phobia of birds.
Okay.
She couldn't even see a bird or even a feather without crying.
Oh, wow. So I
She
shouldn't laugh.
actually had jumped out of her car before because a flock of birds had gone over her car.
Wow.
Yeah, she was petrified, and I did this process on her, and yeah, she ended up going to Queensland and went to one of those wildlife parks.
Yeah.
And she's got photos of herself holding this massive bird on her arm.
That's amazing.
And now she sees them and she starts, trying to care for them and things. She's
Wow.
she's still a bit scared of the flapping, but
Yeah.
yeah,
that's-
but considering where she's come from, it's
Yeah.
absolutely crazy.
That is incredible. Wow. I would. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely not something that I would have expected when we're talking about life coaching and
Yeah.
hypnotherapy. That's yeah, that's really cool. In fact, this whole conversation pretty much has been completely not what I was expecting. But that's what I love about doing this show.
Yeah.
Like I come in with a very brief kind of introduction into who you are and what you do, and then we just go where it goes. And is there anything else sort of in what you do that's interesting to note that maybe people wouldn't expect from a life coach and a hypnotherapist? Like any other treatments maybe that you focus on, or any other, afflictions, if you will?
With hypnotherapy, a lot of things can be covered, from even lowering blood pressure, stress, anxiety. I think a few people have. You can do self-hypnosis as well, and people have apparently regrown teeth.
Teeth?
Apparently, and that's
Wow.
still got me a bit
I'll
fascinated.
give that a shot.
Yeah, I know, right? But people have managed all sorts of incredible things.
amazing.
Someone I know has managed to take away all the symptoms of MS
Wow, that's
using
incredible.
positive mindset and hypnotherapy, self-hypnosis.
A friend of
You
my
name it.
Facebook actually
It's
just was diagnosed
amazing.
with MS, so that
Yeah.
she might want to.
It's
have a look into that.
amazing what
Yeah.
kind of stuff it can do.
Yeah.
People giving up alcohol, drugs, insomnia is another one.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
helps you sleep, helps you, and basically it can help you even learn.
Wow.
So there's a process where you can actually be able to go from not being able to spell a word to being able to spell it forwards and backwards, and then it
Wow.
stays in your mind and it helps you see spelling differently.
Wow, this is incredible.
And like, there's so much you can do with it. It's crazy, and that's just the tip of it. Like,
Yeah, wow.
Because when you go through the stages of learning hypnosis as well, you're learning hypnotherapy. You start with your just getting someone to the basic hypnotherapy, but then you go into your advanced practitioners and master practitioners, and you learn other techniques like conversational hypnosis, like how to talk to someone and be able to, put them into a state of trance about.
Is that what you're doing to me right now?
I'm not, I promise.
Am I in a trance? Do I look like
However, TV commercials, radio,
Oh,
they use
gosh,
it.
yes.
It's in everything.
I was just thinking that when you said that, because TV shows and particularly advertising, yeah.
It's all hypnosis. A lot of those emails, those spam emails you get,
Oh,
that's all
God.
hypnosis.
Yeah.
And when you've learnt at that level, you can't not hear it or see it. So it becomes kind of, you just want to push it away.
Yeah.
And a lot of salesmen use it as well. They just don't realise that they're using a strategy that, if you know the strategies, you can't unhear it. And you
Yeah.
just,
I'm kind of the same with audio. I've learned a lot about audio production. So now when I listen to songs, I don't just listen to the lyrics and the music and go, oh, that's a nice song. I'm sitting there going, oh, I wonder what compressor they've used on those drums, or what reverb is that on their vocal. It's once you, like I said, once you learn it, you can't
Exactly.
unlearn it, so to speak. So.
It's like, did I just hear the pitch
Yeah.
control going off then?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Oh, it sounds like T.I.'s in there. So, yeah.
It's amazing what you hear when you are used to
I can
hearing
imagine.
it.
Yeah, wow.
But no, hypnosis can be used for so much.
That is
And it's-
amazing. I've really learned a lot today, and I do say that probably on a few of my episodes, but this one in particular, I feel like I don't really think I really had any idea the breadth of what you could do with hypnotherapy and life coaching. Like, it's amazing. Thank you so much for having a chat with me, Eleni.
Yep.
Oh yes, 2 for 2. It's been an absolute pleasure kind of getting to know you and getting to know like about hypnotherapy and life coaching and all the great stuff that you can do with it. So yeah, thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to have a chat and a coffee with me at Ned's Cafe. I have to keep looking every time because I keep going to say Ned's. There's a variety store in my house called Ned's.
Yeah.
And it's in my head, Ned's. But Ned's Cafe, great coffee. And we're in
St Agnes.
St Agnes, that's right. That's
Lovely
right.
people who run this as well. They're
Fantastic,
really friendly.
yeah. They haven't questioned why we're here with cameras and videos and everything like that at all. They've been very accommodating. So shout out to Ned's Cafe. So,
Yeah.
all right, cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No worries.